On today's show, we'll be chatting to Dom Joly about the delicious world of Bordeaux wines. And contrary to popular misconception, it's not just about the reds. Hello and welcome to Travel Talk. I'm Anushka Williams. Now then, generations of French families have been lovingly working in the vineyards of Bordeaux to produce the world's finest wines. But there's more to the place than just La Rouge. My guest today is comedian and broadcaster Dom Joly, who this summer went to Bordeaux on a bit of a jolly. See what I did there, Dom?
Very good, Anushka.
Thank you. To explore everything the region has to offer. Now, good to see you, Dom. Thank you so much for coming in.
Nice to see you.
Now, don't forget, this show is totally live, so if you have any questions or comments for Dom, then please use the box on your screen. And if you are tweeting, use the hashtag StudioTalkTV. So then, Dom, you love France.
I do.
What is it about France that you love?
I think the general lifestyle, basically, the fact that everything's just a bit more relaxed, the food's good, but without effort, the wine's flowing and it's sort of not taken with too much sort of, everyone isn't sort of vulnerable. You know, when you go and have proper wine or sort of drink wine in France, you don't feel like you're going to church, basically.
Yeah.
It's just fun, it's nice.
It's part of the lifestyle. Then.
Yeah, sort of. You don't sort of do stuff and then have 5-minute lunch and go on.
Yeah.
Lunch is pretty much the day, and then you do other stuff around it, sort of thing. I think they've got their priorities right.
Yeah, well, it sounds like. So well, you obviously enjoyed it. So Bordeaux recently underwent a transformation, but what is it about Bordeaux, the place that you actually love?
It's weird. I'd never been to Bordeaux before, and I think I, like quite a few people, probably suffered from the idea that you had to be a bit of a sort of wine connoisseur, and it was all a bit poncy and stuff, and actually it's completely the opposite. Bordeaux's been completely rehashed, so as a city it's fantastic. It's got a really good atmosphere, the weather's fantastic, obviously. There's a lot going on, it's very bustly, lots of old streets, all the things you associate normally with France, but also the wine itself was the real revelation to me. It was just fantastic. I thought you'd sort of spend your whole time in huge chateaus and be sort of slightly intimidated, and I wasn't at all. I absolutely loved it. Wines are affordable, they're very good, and there's lots of it, most importantly.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
Now tell me about this wine school, because this sounds like a school I would have loved to have gone to.
Wine school is the thing I've realised that I missed, and I'm going to be very excited to put my children through it. How do we not know that there is such a thing as wine school?
How?
It's crazy. Like, I mean,
Ridiculous.
I'd have done 3 A-levels in wine if I could have done. No, wine school's amazing. It's this place in the middle of Bordeaux. You go in, you can do it for a couple of days or just for a couple of hours. You go in and they kind of teach you about the whole area, the terroir, about where the wines come from, and more importantly, you taste them all. And it's fantastic. And, you know, I didn't even object to homework, which was just go and drink more wine. It's the best school I've ever been to.
Well, actually, in preparation for today, Dom, I was doing a lot of research, being a little bit worse for wear after my research over the weekend.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's hard work, but I did it for you. I hope you appreciate it. But I did learn that Bordeaux wine has around about sort of no more than 14%.
It's good. It's
alcohol.
not. Yeah, it's not sort of in the stronger part of wine, so you can drink slightly more than maybe you would normally. And I mean, reds like this one, basically, it's some of my favourite grapes. So it's Cabernet Sauvignon, it's Merlot, and it's almost exclusively those two as well. And that just happens to be some of my favourite type of grape, type of wine. And
I suppose because it's not so strong, it's going to complement food quite easily.
It goes with everything, basically. Yeah. And I mean, I think the really good thing is I think people do have this vision that anything from Bordeaux is sort of 300 quid or whatever. And it isn't. You can get amazing ones under 10 quid and very much enjoy them as I am.
So you've got the red.
I have.
So I've got the white. So a lot of people don't think that, you know, you can get white Bordeaux.
Actually, I was surprised by that. I did think of Bordeaux as, you know, claret, as sort of red wine, basically. But no, they do some very nice. I had some really nice rosés there, and some very nice white, actually. So,
and it's limited in the grape variety, isn't it? That you sort of the grapes that go into making the wine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. I mean, they're very specifically from the Bordeaux area, and it has got a specific feel to it, I think. I don't know, it's just great. Go to wine school. Don't ask me.
Oh, you don't? I don't need any encouragement. I mean, this is sort of generations. It's sort of, you know,
I mean,
it's heritage,
that is the thing that's interesting about Bordeaux. I mean, you know, I did feel slightly, you know, go out there and you'd have to sort of be knowing everything about it. But it's definitely out there. It's the passion. I mean, it's definitely, they've been growing it for hundreds of years. They know their stuff. But that doesn't mean that they want people to come in. They want people to try and enjoy wine. I actually found Britain a lot stuffier about wine than Bordeaux. You'd think it would be the other way around, but it isn't. I think we're intimidated to go out there.
Yeah,
and there's some fantastic wine events out there. I mean, it's, you know, what could be better?
So
France and wine. Come on, what more do you need?
France and wine. So what else did you do? You went out, you went to wine school, you sampled the wine. What else?
Went to wine school. What else did I do? Well, they have loads of sort of wine-related activities, which are quite good. I went to the Marathon du Médoc, which is an annual marathon they have there, and it goes through all the obviously most of the chateaux are beautiful buildings anyway, and so the marathon goes through, you actually run through. I have to say I didn't run, I watched, I observed, because I was I was noting, but they run through the actual chateaux.
Yes.
But instead of, you know, in a normal marathon, you've got these very keen people and people holding out, I don't know, energy drinks or water. Here, every chateau offers the runners wine.
Fantastic
I just
hydration.
Couldn't believe it. Well, it's just incredible. I went to the first one, the first chateau, and they're all knocking it back and having a great time. I have to say, by about the 60, I don't think even the sort of most fervent winemakers would recommend a lot of wine for a marathon. But, you know, people got through it and it was brilliant fun.
And they sort of all dress up.
Yeah,
they really get into the spirit of things.
I wasn't quite sure what the theme was. I think it was animal. So there were a lot of cows and a lot of seagulls, and it was very French.
Do you know
it was
what,
very
Dom?
surreal.
I think everyone would love to see this. So have a look
amazing.
at this. This is the marathon.
Yeah.
Anyone need a glass of something? Glass of no, probably not. Probably not for you. Only for me. Glass of red, anyone? No? Only me then. This is my kind of marathon. The Bordeaux Marathon, one of the toughest I've ever looked at.
So people are, that looks hysterical. I mean, people really get into the spirit of things with
it's
this.
crazy.
With this
I mean,
marathon.
you know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a natural marathon runner. It's not kind of my bag. But if I ever had to do a marathon, that is the one to do. Because normally you go and do a marathon and then to sort of congratulate yourself, you have a bit of a night out.
Yeah.
But you can start at the beginning of the marathon there, which is absolutely brilliant.
But I think with most marathons, you know, you've got to give up the alcohol to do it. But the fact that you can merge the two,
it seems
it's
perfect
a stroke
to me.
of genius,
a love
really,
of wine and running. I have less of a love of running than wine, but it was the best. What I particularly liked was quite a French attitude towards it as well. If you want to do the marathon and you're not enormously into doing the whole marathon itself, a lot of people started at the first chateau, and I spotted a couple on bicycles cutting across to the 16th mile and just sitting by the side of the road drinking till everyone arrived and stuff. It's, you know, you can either take it seriously or not, but it's brilliant.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me about this scream off.
Ooh.
Now this sounds hilarious.
Well, that was totally weird. There's this old railway line that goes all the way across Bordeaux, and it closed down ages ago. So they've turned it into a cycle track. And this, when I was there this weekend, it had a thing where they were kind of celebrating the use of the track. So families would all get on their bikes and they'd ride from old station to old station. And at each old station, there was an event going on: a picnic, wine drinking, more wine drinking. The one we went to, they were having a screaming match, it's quite a complicated French pun, so I won't bore you with it, but it made sense. And basically, there was a challenge as to who had the loudest scream in Bordeaux, and there was a local French champion. And I've got quite a loud voice. I'm famous for shouting hello.
French champion in screaming.
Yeah.
So this is his forte. He screams.
That was his deal.
Than...
and he'd been champion for the last 4 years. So I thought it was time I went trying to take it off him. So I had a go.
Yeah, you had a go.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I want to see
have you got
this,
it?
Dom. Let's have a little
cool.
look.
Nous avons en direct du Cols Worlds, et donc leur champion c'est Dom Joly, ici présent. Et nous avons aussi notre champion, Paul Beauté, vainqueur des concours de cris 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. Il arrive avec son béret.
Silence! Grenouille! Hello!
104.1. 104.1.
you get on at the end of who won out of...
Well, I have to say he beat me, but I hadn't done my research. I thought it was about, just shouting as loud as possible.
Yeah.
But he'd clearly done, the people that won in the VTs he saw there, all did this really weird high-pitched scream. And basically we were being measured on a sound register or whatever it was. And it obviously picks up high notes, because I was expecting a deep shout from that French champion. And actually he sounded like a girl being punched, I thought. A little bit, so.
I wondered what had happened to him.
I thought he was in deep pain.
Yeah.
So if I went back next year, I'd perfect my technique. But it was brilliant fun. And, we all drank more wine and enjoyed
Of course,
ourselves.
but it seemed like a sort of build-up, like a kind of boxing match, sort of in the blue corner.
It was quite good.
Proper...
And they were, the French crowd were very combative, which is a first. But, it was good.
They were quite sort of welcoming to you when you sort of doing
quite
it.
welcoming. I mean, obviously I was British. But, we
throwing things.
Well, we used to own Bordeaux, as Brits, and we go back to there. So, no, there's a gentle rivalry still between Brits and French in Bordeaux. And there are a lot of English and British winemakers out there as well.
Yeah.
But no, it was all good fun, basically.
And it's all sort of the fun of drinking and entertainment and everything together. That's what you really got from going over.
Yeah, I did, actually. I couldn't think of anywhere better, really. Just a fantastically civilised city.
Yeah.
Fantastic wine. Food is not bad at all.
Yeah.
If you're bored, you go to wine school. And then to wear it all off, you go on the marathon.
Now, talking of drinking, and this is a bit of a tenuous link, but you've written a book.
I have.
Called The Dark Tourist. Anything else that you sort of found on your travels when you were researching for this book? Or?
For that book?
Yeah.
Well, all sorts of things. Chernobyl is a very good place to go for a weekend. If you play Call of Duty, the video game, you will be slightly less surprised by Chernobyl than you thought you'd be, because actually I played this game quite a lot. When I got to Chernobyl, which no one goes to, and you have to go through these roadblocks, and you get into this exclusion zone, basically, which is like 50 miles around Chernobyl. There's no one there. But I kind of knew my way around, and it was because I'd been playing this video game.
Yeah.
They'd mapped it out incredibly, which was quite spooky, so I knew all these weird sort of sniper shots and stuff. And North Korea is a very odd place to go, so it's very good.
But now you're writing a new book.
I'm writing a book called Scary Monsters and Super Creeps.
So tell me about, Scary Monsters, tell us what it's all about.
Well, I'm going off around the world to try and find... that I'm sort of being a monster hunter. I've always wanted to be a sort of...
So have you got your cape on?
Well, I don't know. It's part of what the book is. Like, what do you need? Would you go to Millets to be a monster hunter? Where do you get monstered up? So I've just been on my first monster hunt after Ogopogo, which is the sort of Canadian Loch Ness. It's on Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. And then tomorrow I'm off to hunt the Yeti. Not the Yeti, Bigfoot in California, and then the Yeti and the Macalean Bembe in the Congo, and it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be great.
So all these people that are sort of so in belief that these things exist, you're going to meet them?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of partly going after these monsters, but really it is an excuse to go to very interesting places and to sort of talk to the sort of people whose lives become quite obsessed by hunting these things. I mean, if someone points out to me, I'm the worst person to go off monster hunting, because just say I found the Yeti, who's going to believe me? Like, oh yeah, Dom Joly's found a big furry monster in the Himalayas. Yeah, sure, whatever.
You have dressed as a snake.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good fun. I found some very weird things in British Columbia already, but no sign of Ogopogo. And it is a bit weird. You get in a boat and you're driving around going, right, I'm looking for monsters now what?
Yeah. So what other projects are you working? You're so busy. What else are you up to at the moment?
I'm doing, I've got a new TV show that I can't tell you about. It's top secret.
Oh,
but it's hidden camera, and I've got lots of new characters, and I'm quite excited about that. But I'm just finishing the first show where I'm just getting some of the characters right, so I can't say anything about it because I need to go out and do more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited about that, and that should be a big show, I think, and that's going to be really fun. And then I'm doing a sort of film version of Trigger Happy, but it's not Trigger Happy, but I'm doing it with the guy I made Trigger Happy with, Sam Cadman, and the script's all done, and we're in development, and that's in the States, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So everything's sort of, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's exciting.
You just got so much going on at the moment.
Yeah,
Books.
I get very, very bored. So very easily.
Yeah, so you've got to work quickly.
Well, no, I just think everything's going to stop because I have such a nice life.
Yeah.
So I just think I've got to do everything now before it stops.
Make hay while the sun's shining.
Yeah, or drink wine while the sun's shining.
Drink wine while the sun's shining.
So bring it back to Bordeaux.
Oh yeah, that's it. I like the way you dragged it back. We have had a few questions while we've been sitting here chatting.
Have we? Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Somebody, who's this? Thomas. Thomas says, hello Dom, I hear that you are making a movie and you need extras.
Yeah.
How can I get involved?
Well, actually, I do need extras.
Yeah.
The whole point of the movie is it's kind of taking the ideas of flash mobs, but sort of making them a bit more interesting than just everyone dancing So the idea is that we've got an army now of 70,000 people signed up.
Wow.
And so when we go and film some of the scenes, we're going to, some of the scenes are kind of huge, epic scenes, and we need 3,000 people. Rather than extras, we say, well, if you want to come and be in Trigger Happy or come and be in our film, come and be in it. So if you go to waroftheflea.com,
waroftheflea.com,
because that's the name of the film, War of the Flea, and you can sign up, and then you just get a mysterious email telling you to wait. And then when we need you, we'll call. That's what you do.
So can I do this?
You can, waroftheflea.com.
So lots of people can just, as many people you
Yeah, we've got 80,000 people signed up already. We've got a secret army waiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How
so it's quite cool. So it's going to be really good.
Just do that. Oh, and here's one from Jonas.
Yeah.
In London, yeah. What is the best prank of all time?
What, mine or anyone's?
It's a general.
General.
But what's the best prank that you've pulled then?
I have no idea. I kind of find the word prank weird because it sounds like apple pie beds.
Yeah.
I don't know, what's my favourite one ever? I think I like Japanese ones because they get really, they're sort of
quite macabre, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they really don't hold back with health and safety or anything like that.
Yeah.
There was one where there was a whole lot of skiers, Japanese skiers turn up and they're halfway down a slope and they come to this quite plush log cabin and they all have lunch. And they all strip off and have a sauna is the idea, so they can relax after skiing. And they're all sitting in these leather chairs. They've just got pants on, they're being massaged. And suddenly the back of the log cabin opens up and their chairs are on skis. And they're fired out the log cabin. And they're just like roaring down a slope backwards in pants. So I think that's brilliant. But obviously if I wanted to make that here, everyone would be like, but
that's
how will
cruel.
you stop them? It's not about being cruel. It's more like, how will you stop the chairs and stop them being paralysed for life?
Yeah.
Japanese don't worry about that at all. It's like it doesn't matter. So that I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you find that? Because obviously you've taken Trigger Happy worldwide.
Yeah.
Do you find that people react differently?
Yeah, they do. I mean, one of the things I found with Trigger Happy was that we react. If I did the big mobile in America, people just turn around and say, "Shut up."
Oh,
yeah,
really?
which you would really. Yeah, you just like shut up. Whereas here,
Too polite.
well, we're just embarrassed by people.
yeah.
We don't want to get involved in anything unless we're about to be stabbed. Then we'll just say, "Please don't stab me." So yeah, I think we join queues. We like authority figures and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like an art form. It was the simplicity, because my favourite one was the snail.
Oh, I love the snail.
Because it was just so simple.
See, the snail was conceived on good wine.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
So where did you get the outfits from? Because they were all...
Oh, we had them made.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have the rubbish ones made. I kind of liked the fact that like the dogs and stuff like that, they were all rented. Sometimes we'd turn up to film and we'd ring them up and they'd be out on a stag party.
Oh.
So we'd have to wait and they'd come back and someone had vomited in the helmet or something.
Oh, no.
But the proper ones, ones we needed, I had the snail made. And the snail was a great costume. It was really cool.
And did the police come and sort of say, come on
Yeah,
now,
they did,
what are you doing? Get off.
The first time we did the snail was perfect. That was the one you saw.
Yeah.
And that was it. We would have gone. But we were so excited about it and kind of a bit unprofessional. Sam's hiding, the cameraman was hiding in the garden. He goes, go on, do it again. I go, yeah, I'll do it again. So I'm crawling across again. And suddenly this car stops. And I look, and 2 pairs of feet get out. And I think, what's going on? Yeah. And I'm lying down on the floor just as a snail. His feet are right there. They turn out to be plainclothes policemen.
Oh,
and luckily they were like on a call somewhere else. But they told me to move pretty sharpish, which I did.
Which, in the snail thing, that would have been something to see.
So I scuttled away, yeah.
Thanks so much, Don. It's been an education. I've learnt a lot.
Thank you.
Now, if you want to find out more about Bordeaux and see Dom Joly exploring the vineyards, visit goodfoodwouldchoosebordeaux.com. And all that's left to say is, salut.
Up yours.
Mm-hmm.